Our solar system has been around for billions of years and is starting to get a little boring. So what if we shook up the positions of our planets? What if Jupiter was right next to the Sun? Or what if Earth switched places with Mars? Today, we're rearranging the planets in our solar system from largest to smallest, and then flipping them back to go smallest to largest. But how would this affect Earth? And would we have a new planet to call home? This is What If, and here's what would happen if the planets changed positions. Okay, first let's take a look at what would happen if the planets were laid out from largest to smallest, starting with the Sun. Well, this configuration has a big problem. But before we tell you what that is, let's look at how the individual planets would line up. Jupiter is the granddaddy of the solar system. It's more than twice as massive as all the other planets put together. It would move from its current position all the way to Mercury's spot, placing it less than 1/10 of its original distance from the Sun. Think that's a crazy idea? Well, astronomers studying exoplanets tell us that this is not so unusual. Other large gaseous planets orbiting very close to their stars have actually been named hot Jupiters. Now, sitting in Mercury's orbit, Jupiter's orbit around the Sun, a trip that normally takes 12 years, would now take just 90 days. And the average temperature would rise to around 167 degrees Celsius, making Jupiter's gaseous atmosphere heat and swell. And what would happen to Jupiter's moons? Well, the icy layers of the moons Ganymede, Callisto, and Europa might start to sublimate, forming water vapor, revealing the oceans beneath. But that wouldn't last long. Given the intense heat of the Sun, the water would evaporate. Now, if there's any life in Europa's ocean, it might welcome the warm thaw, only to quickly realize things are a bit too hot to handle. Okay, in second position behind Jupiter would be the gas giant Saturn, taking the place of Venus. Things would be warming up here, too. The average temperature of Saturn would climb from minus 140 degrees Celsius to 55 degrees Celsius. And in its new position, Saturn would look a lot different. Now, bombarded by the intense heat and radiation from the Sun, the planet's rings would disappear. The rocks found in the rings might survive, but the ice particles would melt and the dust would get blown away by solar winds. But who knows? The magnetic fields of Saturn and the Sun might interact and form brand new patterns. Okay, now we get to the best seat in the house, the Goldilocks zone. Yeah, unfortunately, Earth no longer gets this spot. We'll check in on our new home in the solar system in a bit, but for now, the habitable zone is occupied by our third largest planet, Uranus. Now, normally, it takes Uranus 84 years to revolve around the Sun, but here, that shrinks to just a single Earth year. And instead of it being a cold, barren planet, it would now be basking in the Sun's rays. So, would this transform the ice giant into a habitable planet? Well, for habitability, you need three things: liquid water, carbon-based molecules, and an energy source. Well, with more heat from the Sun, water ice in Uranus's atmosphere could become liquid water, so we can check that off the list. Now, what about carbon-based molecules? Well, luckily they exist in Uranus's icy atmosphere of methane and